Business News.
On Business News, Central Bank of Nigeria launches financial initiative to support
Entertainment.
Sport.
And across the face of goal, and Liverpool get themselves a second. It is beautiful.
SBS FM got you covered. Keep listening. Stay with us. Facts and figures are not far-fetched. The ability to read situation as it comes and its prospect is par and key to development. Information is all around us, but how much do you check for the facts that makes the basis of these theories, resulting in the stories making the rounds in our daily newspaper? On Newspaper Review and Analysis, we don't just read, but sit to checkmate the visibility as we analyze every development and issues around us. Join us every weekday, Mondays to Fridays, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. on SBS 96.9 FM in Lorraine, as we will be discussing our nation, because together we can make Nigerian work.
Good morning, Nigerians. Good morning, Quarant, and welcome to Newspaper Review and Analysis on SBS 96.9 FM, your trusted morning companion, where we'll bring you the stories making headlines and examine the issues behind them. Today is Monday, the 24th of August, and on behalf of our chairman, Saman Babatunde Saman, and all of us here at SBS, we say Happy New Week. I am Oluwabukola Mary Sumoni. Today we have some deeply troubling stories, ranging from a troubling security development in Kwara State, controversy over an alleged fake government agency, old allegations involving President Bola Tinubu, political concerns over foreign interference, and an unusual drug trafficking case involving a 101-year-old woman. Let's take them one after the other. We begin from home here in Kwara State, where suspected bandits have reportedly abducted the traditional ruler of Igbesi community in Isilo government area, alongside several residents. The incident reportedly occurred at about 11 p.m. on Saturday, during an attack on the community. In a separate incident, the first wife of the Baale of Dabu community in Ifelodu local government area, popularly known as Iya Ayoka, was also reportedly kidnapped. The development have heightened security concerns across community in Kwara State. The Kwara State Commissioner of Police, CP Ojo Adekimi, confirmed the abduction of the monarch, saying security agencies had commenced efforts to locate and rescue him. He added that investigations were going on to establish the circumstances surrounding the attack, while late hour made it difficult immediately to determine the number of attackers. For residents, however, the concerns goes beyond the identities of the attackers. The bigger question is, how safe are communities when traditional rulers and ordinary residents can be taken from their homes? We move now to a controversy that has raised questions about government administration. The National Coordinator of the National Branch Development and Made in Nigerian Special Project Office, George Nwambweze, has continued to defend the legitimacy of his office following allegations by the ICPC that it is a fake federal agency. Nwambweze has released documents including an appointment letter bearing the OSGF letterhead, which it says proves the office is legitimate and operates under the Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation. The office says its mandate includes promoting local manufacturing, creating jobs, and reducing import dependence. However, the ICPC says its investigations uncovered the office during a probe into another alleged organization and questioned its authorization to operate within the OSGF premises. So the big question is simple. Who authorized the office, and why is there confusion within government itself? Former Chief of Army Staff Lieutenant General Takiu Buratai has urged Nigerians to judge President Bola Tinubu solely on allegations relating to events said to have occurred about 33 years ago. Buratai said the controversy should not be allowed to damage Nigerians' international reputation, particularly with concerns over the possible release of documents connected to an old United States investigation. He argued that the president's decades of political service should also be considered. And that raises an important question. How do we balance national interest and the need for transparency and accountability? Still on politics, a pro-Tinubu group has warned former Vice President Atiku Abubakar against involving foreign institutions in Nigeria's political affairs. The group says Nigeria has its own constitution, court and electoral laws, and that political disputes should be resolved through Nigerian institutions. The group insists that the 2027 presidency would be decided by Nigeria, not foreign courts or institutions. And as the political season intensifies, Nigeria will also expect domestic institutions to be strong enough to investigate genuine allegations and provide credible answers. And this next story is certainly unusual. The NDLEA has arrested a 101-year-old great-grandmother, Esther Ogumabo, in Ogun State for allegedly selling cannabis. She was reportedly found with 90 grams of cannabis. The woman allegedly told investigators that she entered the business after a provision store was destroyed by fire and that her daughter supplied her with the substance. Because of her age, the NDLEA ordered that she be granted bail and placed under counseling while her daughter was arrested. Beyond the arrest, the case raises a bigger question about poverty, vulnerability, and how people end up turning to illegal activities. And finally, the Akwa Ibom State Commissioner of Police, Baba Azari, has warned Nigerian youth not to take bullets for politicians. He urged young people to reject political thuggery, electoral violence, cultism, and other criminal activities. His message ahead of 2027 is clear. Politicians can fight their political battles, but no political ambition is worth the life of a young Nigerian. He also urged youth to verify information before sharing it online and to use social media responsibly. Those are some of the major stories making headlines this morning. Before we go into our analysis, let's take a look at some headlines making the rounds on our dailies this morning. On the leadership newspaper, APC candidates' largest vote will come from women, says ex-commissioner. A former commissioner for women affairs in Kwara State, Honorable Mokpelola Abdulmalik Bashir, has said that women in Kwara will deliver 100% of their vote for the All Progressives Congress, APC, in the 2027 elections. She also said the APC governorship candidate, Engineer Yakubu Danladi Saliu, would receive the largest share of the vote in Ilorin, Kwara Central. Abdulmalik Bashir spoke at the Kwara Central Women's Support for SYD's event in Ilorin, where women from the senatorial zone mobilized support for the APC candidate. She described Danladi Saliu's emergence as a historic demonstration of inclusion and a continuation of the political understanding that produced the Otoge movement. She noted that the 2027 elections present an opportunity to consolidate the gains of Otoge by strengthening inclusion, trust, and political cooperation across the state. Abdulmalik Bashir said Governor Abdurrahman Abdurazak has demonstrated political courage by supporting an arrangement that gave Kwara North a credible opportunity to produce the next governor of the state. She stressed that the development would not be viewed through an ethnic or sectional lens. adding that Otoge was never about one person or one part of Kwara. It was about changing the political order. If the political order has changed, then every part of Kwara must be able to aspire to lead. Danladi's largest vote will come from Ilorin. She said Ilorin understands that what inclusion means. Ilorin will stand with Kwara North, just as Kwara North stood with brother of Otoge project, she declared. She described women as a decisive force in Kwara politics, noting their numerical strength, grassroots network, and influence across communities. Abdul Malik Bashir expressed confidence that the combination of the Governor Abdurrahman Abdurazak administration's record, APC structures, the support of Kwara women, and Danladi's emergence would give the party a strong platform ahead of the 2027 election. On the leadership newspaper, APC candidates' largest votes will come from Kwara women, says ex-commissioner. On the Nation's newspaper, Ogogo was a spectacular cultural icon, says Ogun State government. The Ogun State government and leading figures in Nigeria's film industry yesterday mourned veteran Yoruba actor Taiwo Azan, popularly known as Ogogo, describing him as a spectacular cultural icon whose legacy would outlive him. I beg your pardon. Azan, 66, passed on yesterday after a battle with cancer. Earlier, his daughters Lima and Kira Taiwo made public appeals to medical professionals and well-wishers for support after the hospital treating the actor reportedly indicated it could no longer continue his care. The family said doctors had told them chemotherapy was no longer viable. A development an independent medical expert explained was consistent with a shift to palliative care in advanced cancer cases. Kira, resident abroad with her footballer husband Yusuf Lawal, confirmed her father's passing in a since-long deleted video as she made arrangements to return to Nigeria. Mourning the actor in a statement by the Special Advisor on Information and Strategy, Kayode Akimade, Ogun State government said Azan's death was a monumental loss to the creative industry and the nation, noting that his artistry, discipline, and commitment had helped project Yoruba heritage to audiences at home and abroad. It described Azan as an Ilaro-born son of Ogun State who remained a proud ambassador of his roots throughout his career in theatre, film, and television. The state said the actor's exceptional artistry, humility, and professionalism has earned him admiration across generations and extended condolences to Azan's family, colleagues, and fans. The government further noted that through his work across theatre, film, and television, Azan contributed significantly to preserving and promoting Nigeria's cultural heritage, with particular emphasis on the Yoruba language, traditions, and values. On the Nation's newspaper, Ogogo was a spectacular cultural icon, says Ogun State government. We'll go on a commercial break now. When we return, our analysts will help us examine these issues and tell us what they mean for every Nigerian. We'll be right back.
Fashion lovers, get ready. Larilux, your premium fashion brand, is now open. Shop your top quality designer hoodies, sweatshirts, t-shirts, blazers, and polos, all crafted for comfort, class, and luxury. Style your look today with Larilux. To place your order, call or WhatsApp 0814-778-0665 or 0902-630-5039. We deliver anywhere in Ilori to your doorstep and nationwide. Fast, reliable, and stylish. Larilux. Luxury made simple, style made personal.
Speeding on the road can be dangerous and deadly. Not only does it put yourself and other drivers at risk, but it also increases the likelihood of getting into a serious accident. Additionally, the fines and penalties for speeding can be costly. Remember, obey speed limit, drive at a safe speed for conditions, and always keep a safe following distance. By following these rules, you can ensure the safety of yourself and others on the road. This message is brought to you by SBS 96.9 FM in Lorraine.
Welcome back. This is still newspaper review and analysis on SBS 96.9 FM. Joining us this morning are Dr. Oladimeji Ikokoro Sahad, I beg your pardon, and Comrade Aleshiloye Olaiwola Ridwan. You're welcome, and thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having us this morning. Good morning to our listeners and viewers out there. Thank God it's Monday.
All right, let's begin with a very troubling story that we read this morning. We heard that there was an abduction that happened in Ifelodun, Kwara State, Ifelodun local government area, and a monarch was abducted with a woman and some other residents. And this is coming after there has been stories, there have been talks about battalion being put in that part of area, the local government. So does it mean that the army is not efficient in securing the people, like the security? Because we should be seeing an improved security situation here, Doctor.
Yeah. Once again, good morning, listeners out there. You see, Nigerian situation is just, we keep saying it time and time over again. The beauty of a house is not based only on the structure of it. It also is based on the, interior design and the like of it. You see, when you put in a post, an army post or an army base in any area, what tactical support did you have in place to support their presence there? All these things works in harmony. You just don't have an army base and feel that all the problem there is solved. There are a lot of other affiliations. There are a lot of other intelligence, gathering. There are a lot of other, other tactical, operational, efficiency framework that needs to be put in place. If in the absence of all that, even if you situate an army base in front of, where the, issue occurred, it will still happen. So that's what I find out that happens on a repetitive basis and on a continual basis in this country. Things are not really kind of thought through before it's been done. It has to go through the operational layout and really understand the area. Since the army base has been situated there, has there been any combing of all the forest area there to actually go through and see all the forest area to see that is the whole place been? And they say the army can't do it alone. They still need report and coordination by the hunters in the area and a lot of other things. This can't be done in isolation. So my own opinion is that the government is still the start of it. It's a good move for the government to have situated the army base in the area. Extremely good, for us in the state. But also, we need to do more by understanding having the security report. The army can't do it alone, like I said. It has to be the community. It has to be the vigilante, the hunters, and the like of it. So I think we just know that is indicative that these people are not relenting their efforts. Are they actually even based in that area, or did they just go and come? All these things are very important. And again, the person that has been abducted, there are a lot of possible conspiracy theories that they need to really closely look at, moving forward.
All right, thank you, Doctor. Now, seeing that a monarch has been abducted,
Okay.
and this is not the first time a monarch has been abducted in parts of Kwara State, it's concerning because this is supposed to be the leader of the people in that environment. Does it mean like maybe they are being targeted for certain reasons? Comrade.
Thank you, Buki. It's not as if these monarchs have been targeted. Look at what this doctor rightly said not quite long in the issue of this insecurity. By the time these battalions were situated in these Kwara side of the thing, we saw it as a significant development. But there are some proactive measures that ought to have been put in place before situated up to these Kwara side of the thing. You know, we've laid some measures that ought to have been put in place. That's why we say we have predictive, and corrective measure. At times, bringing about battalions of soldiers to a particular place doesn't equal to security victory. The root cause of this insecurity ravaging that particular territory, that particular region, ought to have been addressed. Look at it now, as it happened in the Kwara South on Saturday. That means the Kwara Central and the Kwara North should be at alert. So in this regard, the security and the government need to work harmoniously, like the community leaders as well, because as we rightly said that the security officers cannot do it alone. We need the collaborative effort of the community leaders, the religion leaders, likewise the youth, for us to know where we are going to, because all these tick forest is not properly addressed. Who knows whether these hoodlums, these bandits that we are saying, hid under the forest? So all these areas have not been addressed, because when we are just mentioning insecurity, it's not only security officers that can curtail the level of insecurity we have in our darling state. When you are using all these security architecture to curtail the level of insecurity, that's what we call kinetic method. We need to address the non-kinetic method as well. So when you put those methods concurrently, or when we put it together, that is the only measure that we can use or adopt to curtail the level of insecurity ravaging in our darling state.
Thank you, comrade. Again, still on this topic, Doctor, ransom in cases like this, ransom are being demanded. And although sometimes the government don't come out to actually tell us that they've paid ransom, but like it becomes blurry. But when ransom are being asked and it looks like this ransom are being paid, isn't it like facilitating their syndicate, facilitating their criminal network?
Thank you so much, Bouquet. Without a doubt, it is a very troubling situation in this country, really. You know, should you pay ransom? Should you not pay ransom? Should you let your loved one, God forbid, be killed because of money or not? You know, or it's a really tricky balance, really. But I have said this over and over again on this radio. Evans is still alive. It is very troubling to, for government to also, support in a way. Because, look, even not quite long ago, these Afar, what's his name? Abdurrahman. This recently that killed that killed Afsor, the girlfriend. He's been sentenced to death. The guy is still alive. They refuse to sign his death warrant. So what we are saying in a nutshell is that, when situations like this happen, what is the proactive action that the government is taking to kind of also serve as a deterrent to others out there that this is not the way to go? I mean, Nigeria was never like this. How do we get here? It's because people who are perpetuating this bad habit can see that there are no repercussions for their actions. We need to begin to see this in a very, in some countries that have a draconian kind of a law that, deals with all this kind of, criminality. You don't see all these issues over there. That's because people know that what's the essence of the money that you're going to get if your life is going to be truncated. Now, there should be consequences for actions that people do. It's only in Nigeria that you see a person that steals a lot of money and still come to contest an election and still win. Yes. It is this country that people don't see that, being bad in attitude and in behavior has consequences. So there are no consequences for actions of those people who have been caught in the past. So how can we curtail this? Really, this is extremely disturbing situation for us in this country, honestly.
Buki, to add to what Dr. rightly said, if you can recall in the recent months, it happens in Borno State, whereby the Borno governor lay emphasis on reintegrating some repentant Boko Haram. What impression does that give to women in Nigeria? We've had it in record whereby a Boko Haram, a repentant Boko Haram has been shortlisted for Nigeria Army. So what impression are we creating to ourselves? It's just because all these repentant bandits, all these Boko Haram, there is no serious sanction. Let me call it sanction for them. Look at all these people that they say they have been arrested. We are just hearing the word arrest. There is no any serious sanction that have been put against these people. And if we continue in this way, the thing will still continue recapitulating itself in our country, Nigeria. This is quite disheartening. If you can recall, like 3 weeks ago, where these abducted the victim in Woro community were being secured alive. If you watch some video clip, there are some of the victims that said they saw a helicopter bringing money. Can you just see? Is that not ransom? But these our governments, they are just trying to debunk the fact that they did not even pay money for these bandits. So all these bandits have seen these terrorism, abduction as a way of getting money. That's just the reason. It's just because there is no any adequate sanction for them. Adding means there are some people, those that have been arrested, if they have give them a serious, a severe punishment, all these things could have reduced to some certain extent. But it's quite disheartening seeing people paying ransom. Even I listened to one video. They paid ransom, which sum of 20 million naira. Despite the money they paid, they were still demanding for recharge cards, motor vehicle, bicycle, and they said if they didn't break the money at the right time, they are going to kill the person. They later killed the guy. So what are we now saying? So it's quite unfortunate. Then the government need to be blamed because they have not been proactive enough in tackling this level of insecurity terrorizing our country. Army alone can bring down all these bandits. How many are they? We have more than 180,000 soldiers, more than 170,000 Nigeria Air Force. How many are these Boko Haram that we're saying? They are not up to 20,000. Look at the way they are terrorizing the whole country. So it's quite unfortunate seeing it like this, and it has even turned Nigeria to a disgraced country to international communities are watching the way Nigeria is going. So it's quite unfortunate. We just want proactiveness. We want the government to swing into action to address it, both kinetic and non-kinetic method, because you can't just use only one method to solve something. If you are using one method to solve, you will not expect different solution. If you are using this one method to solve a practical problem, you'll be experiencing the same result. So we want government to swing into that by using kinetic and non-kinetic approach.
Thank you, comrade. Looking beyond the security architecture, there are security things to be put in place, security measures. Now, Doctor, should we not look at the economic network? Because we are talking about ransom now. It looks like kidnapping has become this very profitable business.
It's profitable
should
now.
The government not investigate the economic network, how the syndicate is being run, and how to get to the root of it?
Okay. The question is the government aware of what is happening? The answer is yes. Just like we said here some time ago, they said one military head of state said if there's any problem or any insecurity happening in the country that past 24 hours, the government surely know about it.
Exactly.
So the reality of the matter is that it's so unfortunate that even some of our politicians allegedly have been found wanting in some of these network, unfortunately, because this is quite intertwined with a lot of other criminality that is perpetuated. At times these hoodlums, these instruments are being used to destabilize communities, to disperse communities for other economic benefit. So it is really quite troubling to know that this is actually happening to us.
1 second, Doctor. We'll go on a commercial break now, and when we return, we'll continue our discussion.
Thank you.
Stay with us.
Ilorin City, are you ready? Empire City Festival don dey come o. Ogbonge celebration of culture and lifestyle in Ilorin. This one go loud o because na Jomaf Homes and Properties wey dey sell correct documented land for cheaper money. Dey organize this event to perform live at this Empire City Festival. Nice Alapo Meji, Saga Adeolu, Modola, MC Any Drums, our brand ambassador Gabriel Afolayan, and your favorite influencers go dey there live. Art exhibitions, oríṣiríṣi games, and a real estate expo. Go ṣẹlẹ̀ yafuyafu. Talent hunt go there and you fit win up to 1 million naira if you get better talent. Empire City Festival comes up on Saturday, 5th September 2026. Time 12 noon. Venue Empire City Estate along Amoyo Road, Ilorin. Ticket to logistics now free for everybody. Start registering now. For inquiries, partnership, and sponsorship, call 0816 443 8755 or 0808 473 2369. Empire City Festival, 5th of September at Empire City Estate, Ilorin. Powered by Jomav. No Misamu, Ego Loud.
Looking for a smooth, stress-free flight experience? Nurul Kulub Travels and Tour brings you easy flight booking with Umza Aviation Services Limited and United Nigeria right here in Ilorin. Flight to and from Ilorin to all parts of Nigeria is available. We offer the best Umrah packages for August, October, December, and Ramadan. For ticket purchase, visit Nurul Kulub office at Umar Aldi Way, GRA, Fate Road, Ilorin, or Nigerian Correctional Services, Cocos Hotel and Garden, Airport Road, Abuja. For inquiries, call 0803-357-9219 or 0802-988-6743. Reach out via batureganiu2021@gmail.com or nurulkulub2025@gmail.com. We've got you covered with Umrah and Hajj packages, hotel reservation in Saudi Arabia, ticket to international trips to all parts of the world. Nurul Kulub Travels and Tour, your trusted path to a seamless journey.
Okay, welcome back. This is still newspaper review and analysis on SBS 96.9 FM. Now we'll move to our second story. The National Coordinator and Executive Director of the National Brands Development and Made in Nigerian Special Project Office, George Nwambweze, has continued to defend the legitimacy of the office, posting additional documents he said showed its links with the Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation. Doctor, this organization has been alleged to be a fake agency, and looking at it, the head of that agency says this has been there for 16 years, yet under the nose of the government. If this was truly a fake agency, why has it not been discovered since, and why 2026?
Well, yet another agency that is alleged to be fake. Again, this goes to tell you how repetitive our system is. It is very sad. For 16 years, you have an organization that is having a budget that is going through, legislative approval through the defense of their various budgets, and for 16 years, no one is actually, saying anything until now. Begs to really give you a very grave concern about transparency in our governance structure. And of course, indeed, a very troubling concern for our representatives, people who we had voted for to go and represent the National Assembly. Are they really doing what they're supposed to do, really? That's a big question. Because the reality is, for government or for governance to be lean, for you to have a lean governance, you need to have transparency. You need to, if you look at Nigeria, it's a lot of repetition. A lot of organizations are literally doing the same thing. You have one agency or three agencies having the same roles that are defined differently, but having the same meaning. Absolutely ridiculous. And you see, the governance structure is not actually, and this is where you see all our money is going in this country. These are some of the leakages we're talking about. You know, Abike Dabiri has an office that is supposed to be dealing with diasporans. Okay, so you now have another Nigeria, whatever made in Nigeria. I mean, what is Abike Dabiri's institution or agency supposed to be looking at? You know, so I mean, they could have so many roles. You know, just one definition with sub definition of the same thing, and then they are funding all this agency, and they expect Nigerian system, they expect Nigerian institution to be lean. It can be. Well, there are a lot of waste pipes. These are some of the waste pipes we're talking about. For 16 years, this has just been detected. How many more is going to come out? Now we learn this is there are 3 other new agencies. This is one of them. The other 2 are going to, apart from the one we had the other time. So what the reality we're saying is that even within ministries and agencies, we're having this same repetition. And then you're saying to us that we're wasting money on subsidy. Really and truly, are we really wasting money on subsidy or other unnecessary spending that does not make sense to Nigerian institutions? So, I mean, I think the National Assembly, in fact, indeed, had to look deep into our various ministries or agencies to be able to clearly define, their roles and begin to reduce, unnecessary government spending. Really, that is their role. Really, it's part of their, functions. Exactly. So, I mean, if we're here, partly, I think it's quite troubling as other things that, you have an institution that has been existing for 16 years, but yet just now you're saying that, a tussle between, fake or real. It's just sad. And this agency or this institution has been having, they learned their 2 permanent secretaries, and someone issued the letter of employment.
Of course,
it must have gone through, Federal Civil Service Commission. It must have gone through, head of service. It is quite worrying that you have an institution that has not just one person, managing it, but there are other staff that the salaries are being paid by the government. They have budgets that is running. They believe to have, a revenue head, and they have expenditure leg, which are being reviewed on a yearly basis for 16 years. I mean, honestly, by fluke or by means, this has been detected. I hope that fluke and the accidental discovery continues.
Comrade.
Thank you, Doctor.
Now, talking about.
Okay, I just want to.
Of course, it's in line. It's in line. What I'm going to be asking is in line. Nwambweze has produced the letter of appointment. He has produced lots of documents to back up the legitimacy of that agency. And many Nigerians have reacted that this, for it to have gone so for this many years, it probably has brought about controversy if this is just trying to target individuals, or it's politically motivated. What is your opinion?
You see, Buki, Nigeria, what we are experiencing in our dear country, Nigeria, is so troublesome, so worrisome, because we are hearing a case of fraudulent acts on a daily basis in our dear country, Nigeria. I'm going to fail the federal government for this case of misappropriation. First of all, we need to commend the effort of this institution called ICPC for the job well done. This is not the first case of misappropriation we're going to hear. I think 2 weeks ago we had a case of this. We have a case of I can't recall. We have a case of FCCPC still lingering. Yes. We have a case of IPPIS still lingering. We have a case of Nigerian police case whereby they were collecting huge amount of money. There is a particular case lingering there at a Federal Medical Center in Kogi, whereby we have a case of misappropriation. So you see, Nigeria is a dramatic country, because we've had another report of this fake agency existing under the roof of a secretary to the government of the federation. What are we saying now? This country is becoming a scam because we are just trying to spoon feed or fool ourselves. Didn't the government aware that this agency has been in existence for more than 16 years? What are we saying? Are we fooling ourselves? We have a controversial agency that's been lingering for the past few weeks, that we are still battling with it. Now look at another agency now, whereby the recruited workers there, budget is being sent to that agency, and we are saying it's a fake agent. It's a fake agency. That really shows that something is pushing somewhere. That's what we call institutional failure, and it's high time our government swing into responsibility. Doctor has said it all. Those are the helms of affairs. Those are our House of Representative members. Those of our senators. What are they doing at the National Assembly? Are they just sitting down there and collecting money or wasting the constituency allowance? It's high time they investigate this matter thoroughly. And anybody that is found guilty of this case should be brought to book. But it comes to our dismay, whereby we just hear a case of misappropriation, a case of a fake agency, and the next thing you're going to hear after math of the event is everything will be swept on that carpet. This is quite disheartening. Money that meant to be used for certain purposes. Look at this is quite troubling, and we are saying we are having a significant development in our economy. What significant development are we having? So the government needs to look into that.
Thank you, comrade. Very quickly, let's open the studio line so our audience at home can join the conversation. The studio line to call in this morning is 07031501256. 07031501256. Let's move to the next story, which involves the president of our nation. Former Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai, retired, has urged Nigerians not to judge President Bola Tinubu solely by alleged actions dating back 33 years, amid move to release documents reportedly linked to a drug trafficking investigation involving the president. Doctor, this is quite, it's not something pleasant to hear about the president of a nation, and people like the lieutenant coming out and saying that we shouldn't judge the president, number one citizen of a country, by an action because it's 33 years old. What is your opinion on that?
With all due respect to the retired lieutenant, it's quite disgraceful to have released such statement, just because you want to stay with. Look, let's face the fact. We have other countries that we relate with. We are business partners to some other countries. How serious would you take an institution or a country indeed if the head of that country is tagged or is being known to be a criminal? Look, the truth of the matter is that let's not play down what is not necessary. We're not saying our president has been found wanting in this, but looking into it and finding out what is really the issue, I don't see anything wrong with that, because you see, as a nation, they take you serious by the head of such countries. How people will take you serious also determine who heads that particular country. It's just like you wanting to relate with a person, a business. You have a business partner, and you are saying that it's wrong for you to do due diligence on that company. It tells you that you don't know what you're doing. There's no country there's no company that you want to deal with that you would not want to find out or carry out due diligence.
Doctor, let's speak this call. Hello, good morning. Okay, I think we lost that call. Please do call back on 07031501256.
Yeah, I think carrying due diligence on
Hello, good morning. Your name and where you're calling from?
Hello, good morning, Mr. Isa from Ilorin.
All right, Mr. Isa, let's have your take.
Thank you so much. I want to bring the guest in the house. So let me refer myself to the first topic of insecurity. You see, the soldiers said to Kwara South, they are not there to protect the others. They are there to protect the entire region. And just like God, the people need to give them support. If they don't get the people support, we might not succeed. They are there to protect the entire region, not the person. So whatever others also not the part of the soldiers at this stage, because they are just very new there. on everywhere. Let us not see this, our terrorist fight as a conventional war. It is not. One of us in many places were having members of these terrorists, maybe living among us who will not know. It's a terrorist war. Our soldiers are capable, but this is a terrorist that they don't wear uniform. You don't know. Somebody will be discussing with you. It's a terrorist. You will not know. That is how they operate. Please, doctor, researchers, they have made research. They have said Abacha never made such statement. Prominent journalists, they have all that Abacha made. It was just a ploy. Never made such a statement. And they are the saying it, sir. Thank you so much. That's my contribution.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ahisa.
Yeah. So essentially, a country, Nigeria as a country, and we as part of a country within Africa, continent. How do other people see us as a nation? Did they see us as a serious nation, or did they see us as as a joke? All these things, add up. And I think credibility and personality has a lot to do with a lot of things. If you're dealing with me and you have to be having all your two eyes open, making sure that you are alert dealing with me, what kind of reasonable investment can you bring into my country? Really? So all these things add up. And if somebody who has been in the military, who we know that military is all about discipline, issue such a statement in the open, it kind of also raise a lot of questions and concern that an institution that we have valued over the years as being the most disciplined institution, begin to issue statements like that. I believe this is not representative of all the Nigerian military, because it kind of really gave me concern. Growing up, we've always known that military personnel are no nonsense. We know that they are very articulate. We know it has to be for them to be a military personnel. So for a retired military personnel to issue such statement in the open kind of really raise a lot of concern about even the younger military people coming behind. If a leader of such institution is saying that it's okay to be a criminal, then what message is he we are not saying, because the president has not been he hasn't been found wanting, he hasn't been tried. Yes. So if there's any information, there shouldn't be any need for concern, because these are all speculative, so it hasn't been confirmed. But for him to be saying that, even if it's confirmed, what is the big deal? That's about 30 years ago, maybe 25 years ago. It doesn't make any meaning. It's really a concern.
Comrade, the reason.
Sorry, Buki.
It's about time. It's still
because of the
line.
time. Atiku alleged His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in this related matter as well. If you can look at the recent news, what Lieutenant General Tuku Buratai said is of twofold. In life there are two elements in life: construction and destruction. So the statement made by the Lieutenant Tuku Buratai that said we should not judge a book by its cover. At times, we can't just judge a book by its cover, because we need to know what is inside the book. We need to know the content of that book. Now, when you now read through,
okay, continue. All he has said, he has given reasons why.
I want to emphasize
so
on
he
that
made
reason.
mention of reputation, saying the reputation of our country. But now the question is the reputation more important than the responsibility, the responsibility of the president being? It has to be an outright man. It has to be a man of honor, dignity. Is it more important that we, the Nigerians, seeing our president working uprightly?
Buki, that is what we have been saying since all this while, that anything you do in this life, posterity will surely judge you. We have been saying this case of drug addiction, drug that is contributing to economic downfall of this nation. Hadn't been those people at the helms of affairs have maintained status quo, they'll be able to vindicate their names. all these things that we are hearing about there wouldn't have recapitulated itself. But if you look at the broad content of this Lieutenant Tuku Buratai message, he was trying to say that judging the His Excellency Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu 33 years ago cannot bring about a kind of significant development to their country, Nigeria, because it's going to turn Nigeria to a shameful country. It's just as if we are exposing our weakness to international community. He now lays some emphasis. What are those emphases in that? You can recall the antecedent of His Excellency Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, a kind of significant development that he has brought to the people of Lagos State. A kind of in terms of this IGR and the good governance. This is what we are saying. If you are trying to attack people's personality, for example, Yoruba people said, there are many people out there that your mommy hold huge billions of money. So it's high time we build this nation co-optedly, harmoniously with ourselves. This is not the right time of attacking one's personality, because we've read series of news in respect to that matter that people were attacking their personality. So it's high time we swing to good governance. This is not the right time of bullying or lambasting each other.
Thank you, comrade. Now let's move to a story
because of the time, right?
Yes, let's move to a story that is quite laughable, but it's not funny. The arrest of a 101-year-old woman for alleged cannabis dealing. She was caught by the NDLEA, and looking at it, this woman is near to her end, and she has been caught.
She's great grandma now.
Of course. What does that say about the morality of average Nigerian, doctor?
Well, comrade has just said it, that is okay, even if you.
No, you don't allow me to finish my analysis. That is why. I just want to establish some facts.
You can be. They can pardon you. It's a pardonable offense.
No, I didn't say it's a pardonable offense.
You see, so I mean, on a more serious note, in as much as we need to be cautious of, labeling and damaging people's personality, it's also important that we know as a nation we have a duty and responsibility to our people, to our community, to ourselves, to our family. And the name of our family is important for us to protect and uphold. Really what we do is a reflection of what might be happening tomorrow. You see, the reality is, it's not about us. And every single day that we live or wake up, you should think that it's not about you. It's not all about you. It's all about the children that you have that are coming. It's about your community. It's about your nation. So when we are growing up, those values, those standards are enshrined in us for you to live an upright life, for you not to do A, for you not to do B, because this is not right. Religious leaders are, preaching against it. But realistically, as a nation, as a community, it's a duty for us to be righteous. It's a duty for us to be upright. And it's not because of today, but because of tomorrow. I mean, if things happen in the past, people should be responsible for their actions. 101, it's an age, but most importantly, does not give you an excuse of criminality.
Of course. Okay.
Buki, you don't read through the content of that message very well. If you can recall what the woman said a shop, she was selling a provision before that, a shop got burnt.
Of course,
a shop get burnt. Now it was our children that even introduced her to this business. This is what we are saying.
So
we've seen a leader alleging of this drug of this hard drugs, whereby we still see hold woman on this issue of this hard drug of a thing. So we just want the appropriate channel to take a charge. You can see this woman, they didn't even arrest this woman. This woman was placed under counseling.
But of course, because of her age.
Because of her age.
Yes.
This is what is downgrading the economy. Why? Because of her age. Someone that knows.
But you say it's pardonable.
No, I didn't say it's pardonable.
Thank you very much, Doctor. Comrade, in a minute, let's look at the last story, which a police commissioner has told the youth not to take bullets for politicians. And as we know, this is something that's been occurring over the years. People dying. You can look at the Osun State election, for instance. 30 people were allegedly said to have died. Yes. So, what is sort of like a recommendation? How do the youth get it straight that politicians are not to be died for in a minute?
So, essentially, it's an opportunity to be a leader. Anybody could be a leader. The fact that your parents are not rich does not turn you to be a beggar in front of anybody or any politician. If you truncate your life because of any politician, it's just 1 minute silent and that's it. You know, I want to employ our youth not to look down on themselves and not to lose hope that things are going to be better for them in this country. It is when you have lost hope that you feel that you can lay your life down for anybody. So anyone can be a leader. I pray and I hope that in this country we will have a child of nobody becoming somebody.
Without knowing anybody.
Of course. And with that, we come to an end of today's edition of Newspaper Review and Analysis on SBS 96.9 FM. A big thank you to our distinguished analyst, Dr. Oladimeji Sahad Ikokoro and Comrade Aleshiloye Olayiwola Ridwan, for bringing insight, perspective, and thoughtful analysis to the stories behind the headlines. And of course, a special appreciation to our studio producer, Oluwatoyin Makide, for keeping everything running smoothly behind the scene. And to you, our listeners across Kwara State, Nigeria, and beyond, remember, the change you desire begins with you. And thank you so much for staying with us. I am Oluwabukola Mary Sumonin. Keep listening to SBS 96.9 FM. Good morning, Nigerians.